All praises to the Most High. This is Brother Elliot. When walking in the truth, I've come to realize that it's definitely not a sprint. It's so amazing whether you've come from no religious background at all or if you've come in from Christianity, especially if you are the people of the book who consider God's chosen, the nation of Israel, and you find out that the identity and the people that the Most High are speaking to in the scriptures are you, yourself. And I tell you what, during the time of what we just experienced a few years ago, when everybody was going through so many changes, the world was going through so much, and then there's also a time where you had some ability to hold on to some hope of knowing that as the world closes down, that there is a promise for his people. And it was really, I would say that this past few years has actually been really the beginning of the Great Awakening for the children of Israel. And or in terms of understanding who you are in your identity, and that you have been lost, and a lot of us are being found. And so where am I going with this today? I said it's not a sprint. So I mean, this is a journey that we must go the distance in. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I have made some references before about how when I came into the truth and I saw all the people who were carrying the truth, whether or not I agree with everything that they're saying, it's always been good to get some tidbits of information, some knowledge, some understanding from different groups and organizations. However, we've come to a point, I think, that as you continue to walk this out, you're going to see who this is truly for and who can stand the test of time. And I'm not saying that I'm necessarily one of those people. I look at myself all the time and I wonder that, this whole thing is just, if I just going to be real with you guys, it can be very, very messy. There's so many people out here that are carrying this truth and knowledge, and they're using it for selfish gain. They're using it because they know that it's kind of a hot and trending topic in its own regard, which this is just about the Most High, really, but it's been turned into something else, the same way the church has been turned into more than what it needed to be. And so what I'm saying with that is that we're going to have to come to a point of realizing that if we are identifying with being the children of Israel through bloodline, that this is definitely not a sprint. We're going to have to be able to filter information out and see who's who are the people carrying this message, how do they live their life, and ultimately, do they even have a relationship with the Ruach? Do they have a relationship with the Holy Spirit? A lot of the times I would say that they have none. There's a lot of people who I've noticed who literally are just out here excited because they found out that they are connected, that they have bloodline that traces back to Israel, yet they do not understand that to follow the Most High, that they have to also remember Christ. They have to also remember his spirit that was left to guide us throughout these days. So with the way technology has changed, anyone and everyone can literally just jump on line and have a ministry and start preaching and teaching, myself included, and just tell you whatever they want. And they can mimic, they can turn things into parodies and spoofs, they can mislead, they can use it for their own selfish gain. All these things are happening. I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this as well. And it can also get you to a point where you may be slightly frustrated and say, you know what, this is just, I'm over this. I'm done with this. I don't want to be involved with this anymore. And then where are you going to go? Are you going to go back to the Christian church? Are you going to start worshiping Caesar Borgia, the image of Jesus that they portray? Are you going to start basically going to Catholic Mass, because that's what it's turned into, because Rome has literally totally hijacked the church now, and all the order of the church, especially the main churches that are out there, are following the orders and directive from the Vatican. So what do we do? How are we able to filter this and focus in on what's necessary to continue to go forward and continue to keep our situation at bay? And I think that this is what we need to do. We have to first remember that no matter what happens, no matter how we're able to have our environment in these days, that we have to let not distractions get you off course. We can't be distracted in any way, because there's so many people out there to get us pushed this way or pushed that way, to the point where we just want to give up and not go further anymore. So we can't be distracted. We have to let the main thing be the main thing, and that's the word of the Most High. And my opinion and how I'm doing it is to make sure that you do most of your learning, your edification, your dealings with your family, all that stuff comes through your own self teaching, or your own self learning. Even when it comes down to the holy days and the feast, I think that there's a lot of times that people just want to join and be led, and that's, there is an argument for that, as we look in the Bible, where we have the sheep who were led by a shepherd, and there's so many different scriptures that say that. But I think at the end of the day, we need to make sure we take our own responsibility, or take responsibility of our own walk in this whole thing. And the reason why that's going to be important is because there are so many people, there's so many different directions that you could go, especially with the truth, because you're not going to just walk into a church off the street and just sit in the pew and get the truth. That's not going to happen. So you have to seek it out and find it. A lot of times you're going to find that on social media, or maybe some books if you're really into reading. But most people are just going to take the route, or just go on social media, connecting with the organization here and there, or connecting with multiple organizations, and then or private people teaching like the way I teach. And I want to say that I'm just doing what the Most High told me to do. I'm not trying to do anything more than that. And I follow him. And I pray that if you guys are following me or hearing this video and you want to hear more of what I have to say, just rest assured that I am connected. I have been called and set apart to do what I'm doing. And all you see is my obedience. There is no ulterior motive. If I had a choice, I would say if I had a choice, I probably wouldn't be doing this. But I'll tell you what, there's so much fulfillment in walking in your purpose. There's so much fulfillment and satisfaction, gratification to do what you know that you've been called to do. So I won't just say that for the fact, or just for the sake of having a cliche comment. What I am doing in order to, even if no one listens, this is a small channel, but I believe that as I continue to just be obedient and do what the Most High says, that I will reach and touch the people that he's anointed me and called me to teach. And that's why I bring you this message, because I wanted to let you know that if you're feeling discouraged as you go along this, and you were running a sprint and everything seemed so cool, you changed your whole swagger, you learned a few Hebrew words, you went to a couple, celebrated a couple feast days, you start wearing your fringes or your dresses or whatever, however you decided to do, what you decided to do because you saw other people doing. Just know that the word is still the word, okay? So you need to be led and guided by the word. Don't allow what you see on social media to literally be your example. Because one of the things you're going to realize is that there's always been debates of doctrine, even in biblical times and throughout the word. And so what I mean by that is by the way people believe and the way they operate in the faith. So When that happens, you're also going to know that these things are no different. There's nothing new under the sun. And one of the things social media can bring about is an immense amount of confusion when people are trying to do this, that, and the other. And then I've harped on this and told you so many times that there's so many people out here that are doing this, that are carrying this for their own selfish desires because their heart is wicked. They were born wicked. They're a wolf. They're implants, they're masons, whatever. And they've taken whether they've taken oaths to Satan, but through some of these organizations, or they were just born to be wolves. That's their function. And just like in real life, wolves have functions. They keep everything balanced. Wolves go and they attack their prey and they attack the weak. And unfortunately, some of these ministries and things out here are designed to do that, to go gather up to 2/3. And then the thing is, those people who survive that, those people who make it past the filter and make it through, those people are able to go ahead and go forth and maybe move to another level, or figure out the fact that, a lot of this stuff I probably need to be doing on my own anyway, and I need to pull back from some of these things that I see online. So I want to just come out and bring you guys encouragement today to know that as we are continuing to walk and operate in this stuff, and as kooky as it seems and weird, I mean, like, I already knew that coming out of the Christian church and just the Christian faith and the Christian teachings, that coming over here, it was exciting and new and it was fresh, and it's like, yeah, I'm an Israelite, I'm set above all people, and all that stuff I kind of already knew in my spirit anyway. It was just confirmed. But it's extra sloppy with a side of messy over here. And I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again. I want you guys to know that a lot of stuff that you see too, a lot of stuff that you're allowed to see is extra sloppy with the side of messy, because a lot of these social media platforms, whether these guys are Masons or whatever, the algorithm is going to push those particular people and those channels that are out here just causing so much confusion amongst the flock. But I say to stay steadfast, to know that this journey is going to take step by step by step over time for you guys to be able to really, adhere and get everything that the Most High wants from us, because His word has not changed, and the truth is the truth, and that's not going to change. So all we have to do is know that there's really, at this point, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. You can get frustrated all you want, but I think the best way to handle your frustration is to know how to kind of cut out the noise, and just to kind of go back to your own circle and focus in on doing what you're doing. Because I've been paying close attention. The world is extra dim, y'all. It's super dim. Like, I'll be touching on this more. If you want to check out one of the videos I made called The New Normal, kind of check that out. That's kind of like the beginning stages that I saw several months ago. And I do continue to kind of touch on this in a lot of the ways that I teach, just to bring awareness. But what I've been seeing and the transformation that has gone on and the days and times we're living in, man, it is something else out here. And we have to know that there's nowhere to run. There's no refuge in the world. There's no refuge going back to the false doctrines that we got from the Christian church. And there's definitely no refuge in the New Age or the Kemet or all these different things going on. No. It is what it is. It's the Most High's holy word, found through His scriptures, us being obedient, us knowing who we are as Israelites, the people of the Bible, if that's us. If not, if we're Gentile, knowing who you are as a Gentile and how you are supposed to operate as a Gentile. And then, going forth in that truth. And you may have to do that without the noise. And like I said, I teach this. I feel like I'm following and doing the assignment the Most High has given to me. And if I'm one of the people that the Most High tells you to shut off, do it. If I pray that I'm not. Like, I wonder, it's like, am I going to with all the stuff going on, I was like, man, I really pray that I make it to the other side. Like, I'm trying to get to the kingdom. I'm working out my salvation. And even in the midst of having this assignment, that's what I want to do. And the fact that I want to keep myself in the rightful position so I can help lead and guide the people that God has ordained me to do is really my heart, and that's where I want to be. So I pray that if you guys continue to stick with me, and as I grow, I'll just pour more into you, and I'll try to, be mindful of the fact that this is kind of turned into a gimmick in a lot of ways with a lot of people. But we're going to try our best to, try to make this as smooth of a ride as possible. But it's not guaranteed, because like I said, even in biblical days, in the biblical times, in the times the scriptures were written, that we see that there's so many things that we're just kind of off then there too, and we don't see everything behind the screens. The scripture is the scripture, but man, it's a crazy, crazy world. But we can keep our eyes and our heart focused in on the kingdom and what's before us, where we're going to go when that day comes, when Christ comes back for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it if I shall see it in my lifetime. But until then, I'm going to continue to press forward and do what he's called me to do. And I pray that that's continuing to edify, teach, and even learn more and more about what the Most High is doing in these last days and times, and how he's preparing his church for his soon arrival to send his son back for us, so we can continue to do what we need to do. All right. All praises to the Most High. This is Brother Elliot. Thank you for your time. Until the next time we speak, shalom.